I'm here with Richard Garland, who's Head of International Distribution for INVESTEC. Hi Richard, you spoke yesterday on the whole issue of sub-advisory platforms, advisors, intermediary groups. Can you talk me through the jargon of what came up yesterday?
Right. Well, a sub-advisory arrangement is where maybe a multi-manager or even a distributor, and even obviously a fund manager, outsources the management of a particular fund. And one of the trends we're seeing in Europe is the aspect where multi-managers and distributors are setting up their own funds and appointing sub-advisors to run mandates, as opposed to using third-party mutual funds. And this is a trend which the panel agreed was going to grow throughout Europe.
And why? What do you gain from using a sub-advisor?
It's all about control. See, the distributors and the multi-managers can control the use of third-party funds and promote their brand because the fund has their name on it as opposed to INVESTEC's name. And that way they maintain their relationship with the client. They also can maintain pricing control because when you appoint a sub-advisor, they normally get paid an institutional style fee. Whereas if you're using a third-party fund, they're probably getting a higher fee with a discount, but they're certainly paying a higher fee. So they can end up controlling brand and also controlling pricing.
So for the end investor, are there any advantages in this sort of system?
Well, this was a big discussion point in the panel because one aspect of using sub-advisors is that a large fund manager, like an INVESTEC, can bring a specialist niche manager to market. So they can launch a mutual fund with a fund manager who doesn't have the marketing presence, say in Europe or Asia or whatever. So that way the end client and investor benefits because they get access to an investment manager they would not normally get access to. So that's the one positive. On the other side though, is there any positive aspect to multi-managers using sub-advisors? This becomes this whole conflict between, is Europe really embracing open architecture? Because using sub-advisors is really another form of guided architecture, which means the distributor offers a limited number or access to a limited number of managers and is not offering 2,000-3,000 mutual funds. And Europe has always struggled with the concept of open architecture. So this is just a continuation of that struggle.
And do you end up with the best of the best if you go this route with the sub-advisory, or can you end up with sort of the other thing?
Well, that's the challenge. I mean, it's the same challenge I think with using funds. I mean, if you end up with a recommended list of funds, are you recommending the best funds? If you end up with sub-advisors, have you chosen the right sub-advisor? It's probably the same challenge on both fronts. But it's the challenge of Europe. I mean, Europe is so different from, say, the US, where there is real open architecture.
And presumably, though, the best thing would be that there could be lower fees with the sub-advisory route.
And
the
net result of the discussion wasn't that necessarily there would be lower fees, but that would be the best scenario. And I do think that would happen over time. And I fundamentally believe that eventually pricing has to come down for investment products in Europe, and then clearly the end investor benefits.
Okay, thank you very much for your time on that. Right. On another point, perhaps you could just tell me what you think of FundForum, the new FundForum.
It's phenomenal. Now, I've been coming here for many, many years. I've participated for, I can't know how many years, 10 years or so. And the key to the success of FundForum is you have all the right people here, and you have to create a networking opportunity, and that's what has happened. That's the biggest change I see now, is that there's more time between the sessions. So you have more time to interact with colleagues, even with competitors, and that is the benefit of this. And I think finally it's embracing the networking concept and really highlighting that rather than trying to say, no, it's not about networking, it's all about networking. So that is a very positive change.
Thank you, and thank you very much for your time. Richard Garland.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.